Attention, all curious minds, innovators, and trendsetters. It's time to pause, lean in, and get ready for an extraordinary journey as we dive deep into the fascinating realms of life, technology, entertainment, and business. Let's explore, learn, and grow together. Brace yourselves, for the next thrilling episodes of Hipther Talks is about to take off. Counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
Hi everyone, Zoltan here. We're back again this week and we're sticking to the Fintech, blockchain, Web3 space, which we all love. And today I have the pleasure of having with me Anna Agu, CEO and managing partner at Lex Law, director at Lex Law Office Lithuania, co-organizer of Cryptofin conference. She has many titles, but she will definitely tell us more about that. So Anna, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right. So we have this habit of asking our guest to give a short introduction about themselves so that the audience know who is online. So Anna, just give us a brief introduction of what you do and what's your background.
Yes, sure. My pleasure. So my name is Anna Agu. I'm managing partner and co-founder at Lex Law Office. Lex Law Office is a modern law firm. We are working mainly with the technology, IT, and fintech clients all over the world. We have offices in Tallinn, Estonia, and Vilnius, Lithuania, working with the clients since 2017. From the pretty early of the hype of the new era of financial technologies and also virtual assets. Also, I was a co-organizer of Cryptofin conference in 2019. We organized 2-day conference related to the fintech and virtual assets. And also I'm a public speaker at the international conferences and events.
All right, among them our conferences as well in Prague, last year in Riga, and this year in Tallinn. Okay, yes. So let's dive in. So let's talk about the current landscape in Web3 and fintech. So given your deep involvement in these spaces, how do you see the landscape of Web3 and fintech evolving in 2024, especially in the wake of the recent global changes that are happening?
Yes, I think that fintech in general is very wide. Let's focus maybe on Web3. 2024 is for sure the year of MiCA. This is a European fundamental regulation which will come in force. Of course, countries will have different transition period, but right now is a moment where all the companies are starting the adoption to this regulation. And the idea of the MiCA regulation is that similar to the traditional financial service and service providers, you will have a chance to register your company if you are a virtual asset service provider in the one particular country of the European Union and get this passporting rights to provide your services in other countries within the European Union with this one license. And actually, it's also giving transparency to the markets. We will have the same fundamental rules within the European Union. And the idea behind this is very beautiful. So we should have the transparent market for the virtual assets users, virtual asset service providers, which will generate the new era of the regulated industry.
All right. So it's high time that we have come to this, that we have businesses based on crypto. So with your vast experience advising companies in the cryptocurrency and compliance regulation spheres, what are the most significant compliance challenges that are faced by crypto businesses today, and how should they navigate this?
This is a very good question. If we are talking about the compliance, this is one of the hardest things for the companies, because if we are talking especially about the Web3 and virtual assets industry as in general, for them it's absolutely new. Because if we're comparing this to the fintech, let's say crowdfunding companies, investment funds, payment institutions, e-money institutions, they are aware from the beginning that they are making the business in the very regulated market. And they are paying attention to the compliance from the scratch. For the crypto industry, it's something new because in the beginning, when everything started to grow, nobody were talking about the compliance.
Yeah.
Only lawyers and some of the lawyers. And right now we are having the situation when if you have an idea to run the crypto related business, you need to understand if you are obligated entity according the compliance rules, and if you need to fulfill the requirements set in the particular law or directive on the EU level. So compliance challenges, I will say, like, first of all, it's less understanding of importance of the compliance. The second is maybe not enough resources and quality resources, because finding, for example, head of compliance or compliance officer for the crypto company who is just entering the market, it's a challenge. It's similar to the bank account opening. So it's additional, let's say, effort that company needs to take to comply with this particular requirement. Because when you are establishing the company, most of the founders are focusing on the product, community, marketing, maybe investments, but not on the regulatory part or compliance part. But the reality is that if you miss this part, there will be no business after 6 months, let's say it like this. And it's very dangerous because right now, enforcement agencies, financial regulators, they are paying special attention to the Web3 industry and crypto industry. So they are 100% under the scope of the high intensive interest of the regulators. So from the scratch, you need to invest in this industry. You need to understand your business model. You need to have the compliance risk assessment. You need to understand which kind of risk appetite will be applicable and acceptable in your company, with which kind of clients you will work, which clients will be not accepted, which countries are accepted, which countries are not. So you need to create your risk assessment. You need to understand your risk appetite. And based on this, you need to draft very strict policies that will be in the future like a basis for this team. And which kind of challenge, in addition, we see that sometimes companies are really investing in creating of the policies and documents related to the compliance, but then in the reality, they are not following them 100%. If there is a lack of understanding, if there is a lack of the resources, of course, the reasons are different. But I think that training of the employees is crucial and really important, because one thing is to create the strategy, then create the policies, but then, like, in reality, realize the business model and business activity according to those policies and strategy. So with the third part, we really see a lot of challenges for the companies, because if they are doing their regular checks, or they are audited by internal audits, they are paying attention that, okay, policies are good, but for example, you are missing the process of verification of the UBO, or it is not complete, or it is not in line with the rules. So I think those are like three main pillars should be followed to ensure the smooth system. And let's be transparent. Having the problems with the compliance today in the financial sector is a nightmare. You better don't want to know about this, because it's very harmful. Yeah.
All right. So we got into the B2B media space in 2015 and started organizing conferences in 2016 for the gaming industry. And it was the same scenario. Compliance was just not being talked about and ignored. There were mostly talks about products, but now all the conferences are about compliance, and it's the main part of the gambling industry. It seems that the Web3 and fintech is also getting there. It was like maybe a Wild West before that, but now everybody has to comply. So I see that there will be many opportunities in the next 5 years to debate these compliance policies that most probably in the future will be attacked by a few companies and ignored by some. And yeah, so you've been instrumental in developing changes in regulation in Estonia. So how do you balance the need for innovation in fintech and blockchain with the need of a robust legal framework?
Oh, this is a very complicated question. Actually, this balance is sometimes you're feeling that it is not even achievable.
Yeah, we know. We had talks about this at the conferences about balancing innovation with the compliance, and often, like you said, it's impossible.
Yes, but I think that let's talk about the ideal world, how it should be. So the crucial is that there is a transparent communication between governmental authorities and market participants. Because let's be honest, they need to teach each other, and they need to collaborate. Because if the regulators are not open-minded, they are not ready to have the transparent communication with the market participants, they will have the problems with the understanding of the specific new business models or needs of the clients, or why companies are creating such complicated structure, or why flow of funds is created that way. So only once you understand the need of the clients and the need of the market participants or service providers, you can actually, as a regulator, can understand how you can supervise them and how you can create the regulatory framework which will help them and give a chance to actually provide the services. Because stupid regulation is not needed for anybody. Okay. And if there is a requirements which are actually not able to, which are not like doable for the market participants, then nobody will follow them. And at the end, governmental authorities, law enforcement agencies, they're having just more work and not enough resources to do the proper supervision and actually create the transparency between the market participants and governments. So my number one advice will be having this smooth conversation and trying to understand each other. This is number one. Number two is, while creating the changes in the regulation within the particular countries or even on the EU level, to have the communication with the market participants and involve them in the process as much as it is possible. So here, any kind of roundtables, seminars, consultation periods are very important. And right now we have this MiCA adoption period, and ESMA and EBA are preparing the guidelines for the market participants. And I can confirm that it is done on the very well system, because basically all the industry experts and market participants can be involved in this process. So there is a time frame when you can submit your question. There is a time frame when you can provide your feedback on the draft of the guideline. There is a consultation seminars. Basically, they are like 1-2 hours, so everybody can participate. It is not something very complicated. And in that way, you can be in line what is happening with the regulation and why those changes are needed. And you can take a part of the development of the good regulatory framework. And basically, once the market participants are involved, they are having more clean understanding about the purpose of the changes, because sometimes there even lack of understanding why I need to do it or what is the benefit for me. But once you take a part of those round tables and you see the arguments of for example, public sector, then you will understand, okay, I need to submit, for example, those reports quarterly because they need this information for creating of the statistics data, for creating a better automation, automated supervisory systems, etc., etc. So by having this conversation and evolving the market participants during the development of the regulatory changes, it's actually creating the better quality of this regulation. And maybe the third one that I would like to point is that for the market participants, they need to be more active, actually. Because it's always very easy to say that we are waiting some kind of guidelines, we are waiting the good regulation from your side, we are waiting the help, we are waiting the seminars, whatever. But what are you doing as a part of this industry to create this transparent market, to create this regulation, to protect the clients and protect yourself? So I would like to encourage to take a part of the communication with the regulators, with the representatives of the different associations, maybe, because it's also like a channel how you can deliver your ideas, maybe together with other market participants, and be more, let's say, backed by other colleagues and colleagues and market participants.
All right, so your answer makes me depressed, and I just want to move our company to Estonia. Every time we talk about somebody from the Baltic region, we feel how lucky you guys are, because we know how the regulators are working together with with every industry, and how cooperative they are and transparent. Nothing like we have a totally different scenario in our country. Okay, maybe it's because it's a 20 million population and stuff like that, but the fiscal and stuff changes that are happening from day to day without any transparency, without, like you said, knowing why you are doing this is so crazy. And it's been a struggle. There are like 64 changes for the companies that have been implemented in January here. So it's very crazy. Nobody knows what they are doing. Everybody's just like calling their accountant and asking about stuff. Not even they know that is happening. So yeah, it's important to have this collaboration.
Yes, of course, but I would like to be transparent with you. In Estonia, we have also a lot of regulatory changes and and basically, one thing, if you are creating your company in Estonia, you need to understand that we are very flexible. If it is needed, we can change the law within 3-6 months. It's not the problem. So it's not UK or it's not Germany. When to change one article, you need to have the conversation for 2 years. Yeah. So in Estonia, we are a small country. We are very innovative, and if there is a market demand, and we understand that, for example, this change is needed, it will be done within some short period. I can give an example from the corporate law. It's just a small thing, but actually for the company, it was a big step. So basically, according to the law, if the company is created, you need to pay initial capital. So it's in all countries the same. The capital amount can be different depending on the type of the legal entity and the country, but the basic is that once you're creating the company, you need to pay the capital upfront. In Estonia, we have this special exemption that there was a chance to pay the capital within the later period. So you're creating the company first, and then you will have the time to pay the capital. So this is a chance for the, let's say, entrepreneurs without any kind of financial backup to start the company immediately and then pay it later on. But there was a problem with this bank account opening, especially for the founders from the French companies. And what we have for now, we have the regulation which says, yes, you need to pay the capital, but you can choose the amount of the capital based on the business needs of the particular company. So if you're creating a bank, of course, you need a capital of,
yes.
I don't know, but by the law, you need a capital of 5 million, but basically you need maybe 7 or 10 millions to actually have the funds to operate within first, 1-2 years. But once you're creating, let's say, online marketing company, you don't need to have some kind of specific resources to provide your services. Maybe your need of the capital will be 500 euros. And that will be enough. So there was a change in the law in 2023, which is saying now that you can by yourself choose as a founder what will be the suitable capital that company is actually needing to start the operational activity. So things like that are happening fast, and this is like a good signal that public sector is paying attention on the problems that private sector has.
All right, yeah, and then you guys have this e-residency with which you can open a company remotely and start operating. So that is also very good. So this leads me to the government and startup collaboration. Like you said, it's very flexible. And in your experience, how can the startups in the blockchain and fintech sector effectively collaborate with government authorities to foster innovation while also ensuring compliance, so that we stick to the same topic about compliance and innovation?
Mm-hmm. So my suggestion for the startups, especially, it could be done through the associations, because depending of if you are, iGaming company, if you are a financial company, if you are a fintech company, if you are a crypto company, there are several associations where you can find like-minded people, and you can create with them some kind of recommendations for the particular regulators or governmental authorities, and participate in the developing of the regulation and industry frameworks together with partners from the same association. Because maybe alone, if you are absolutely new startup, it's not realistic, but if you have this backup, then yes, you can be heard.
All right. So I know that you've been a prominent speaker at many international conferences. We follow you, so we know. So how has public speaking helped in advocating for better understanding and regulations in the blockchain and crypto space?
Mm-hmm. Thank you for this question. For me, public speaking is first of all about networking. And if you are participating, 20 international events per year, you are meeting the leaders from different countries, and you are having the understanding about what is happening all around the world, which kind of challenges different countries are facing, which kind of problems or solutions different industries are having in the particular countries. And this is actually opening your mind and creating the value for you as an expert, because you have this unique knowledge about not only about the particular country, but you are having like a little bit broader understanding what is happening in the world. So I can give a sample. When we had the pandemic period, nothing was happening in the Europe. Everybody were aware of this, yeah. So there was like almost no events for 2 or even 2.5 years. But if you are looking what was happening in the same times in the Middle East and Turkey, there was a lot of very interesting events. Yeah. The industry was growing so fast within 2.5 years. And a lot of companies moved there because there was discussion, there was seminars, there was accelerators open, etc., etc. So the growth within this pandemic period for the Middle East region was huge. Yeah. And it was like Euro region was like stucking on the same place. So it is very important, because once you do not have this conversation between market participants, once you do not have this exchange of the practice, you can actually grow with the minimal steps. But once you have this opportunity to connect with the even competitors from other countries, you can create better services, you can create better solutions for the clients, and you can understand, okay, we are now here. We can see, like, for example, in Estonia, they are much further. They are having already this, and this. Probably this will come also in our country after 2-3 years, for example, yes? And you can like predict what will happen there. And yes, it's very helpful for having the understanding about what is actually happening in the world, not in the particular country. And the second, what I wanted to say is that once you are participating in international events, the network that you are creating, it's actually your like fundament that you can use later on once you have whatever problem or questions, etc., etc. And especially as we are legal service providers, we are trying to keep this one-stop solution for our client. That means that if you're coming tomorrow to me and saying like, Anna, we have an idea, we would like to create investment fund which will invest in alternative assets and classic assets. We would like to have the offices in Switzerland, Estonia, and Singapore. I can confirm that we can do it together with our partners, local partners in the particular countries. So for the client, we will be like one contact and one stop when they can solve all the problems and get the solutions to the requests they have. So, and you can create this network only once you have those right contacts. And this is why it is needed to participate different events to have the strong network.
All right. So your background is in legal tech, and I just want to ask you about how do you see what role do you see legal technology playing in the advancement of fintech and blockchain industries?
Like the role of you mean role of the regulation or role
of legal technology?
Okay, legal technology. So if we are talking about what we should have in the future, where we will be potentially within, I don't know, 3 years, 5 years, then legal technology is already happening now. So it's not the future, how it is basically present right now at the conference, it's happening already now. And once you are like creating, for example, the law firm from the scratch, it's not enough to have the good lawyers in a team anymore.
Yeah.
It's not enough. It's not enough to have the good marketing strategy. If this is not in your strategy to have different tools which will help you to create faster solutions, more customer focused solutions. If you do not invest in this, I'm sure you will not gonna rock this world. So it is very expensive and it's hard, especially for the legal industry. There are not much solutions at the moment, but there are some solutions that companies are using. And for example, I can give our sample. We started, so we are using the CRM system already for, 6 years. But what we started to create, I think like 1.5 years ago, we created a separate boards for our clients in our CRM system. So if we have the long-term projects, for example, establishment of the payment institution or establishment of the crowdfunding companies, those are big projects. They are basically realizing this project like for a year, maybe 1.5 years. For the long-term projects, we are creating the board for the client in our CRM system, and we are adding everything there, the roadmap, the tasks, the planning time, whatever. So client is having online access to the project and have absolute track on the project. And for example, if we finish some kind of document, let's say some kind of policy, client is getting notification, he can have a look, he can confirm, comments, add some kind of additional documents, etc., etc. And it's very helpful. Right now we are using this, I think, 1.5 years, and we are receiving a very positive feedback from the client. They're saying like,
that's good.
Yeah, if you're having the project for 1 year, and you have this communication in, whatever, Slack, WhatsApp, or Telegram, or email.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's crazy. And then you need to understand what was the previous version of this document, for example. It is almost impossible to find it, and you will spend so many absolutely not needed time to find the answers to some kind of questions which were 8 months ago, for example. But if you have the project under the CRM system and the client is having access and we are having an access, we can go back. Even if we upload the new version of the documents, there is always chance to go back and see the previous version of the document. And it is very helpful. It's saving the resources of the client, and it's saving our resources, and actually it's saving in the final stage the funds of the client.
All right. So let's also talk about the Cryptofin conference. I know it was in 2019, but as a conference organizer, we like knowing the fact that some things that we talk about or facilitate the platform for the regulators with the private sector, it picks up, and sometimes it takes about 2 or 3 years to really be implemented, and then we can say we are proud that, wow, this is something that was facilitated throughout our conference and it happened. So reflecting on your role as the co-organizer of the Cryptofin conference, what were some of the key takeaways about blockchain and financial instruments that you think that are still relevant in today's context?
Yes, to be honest, I think that most of the topics are relevant still today. When we were organizing the Cryptofin, it was 2-day conference with the international speakers, like very high-level speakers. We had the Bobby Lee, Philip Sander, and a lot of experts from the industry. And we divided the program to let's say, 4 blocks. The first one was about the use of the blockchain technologies. The second was about the virtual assets and the fintech. The third one was about the regulation and compliance. And the last one was about the marketing and the growth. And to be honest, I think that this is very good structure. And if I would like to do it again today, I will keep the same structure, because those are like main aspects that every company is facing. If we are talking about the particular maybe highlights that I would like to pay attention, we, for example, talked about the collaboration between the traditional finance and virtual asset service providers, which is still actual today. We can see that basically all virtual asset service providers are using, in some cases, traditional finance services, if it is a bank account, if it is acquiring services, if it is like loans, investments, card issuing, etc., etc. And we talked how they can be connected and what can be done for the better collaboration between them. And I think this is topic absolutely can be discussed today and after 5 years. Yeah. So it's not going to die anyway. And we will have a lot of challenges there. The same with the compliance and regulation, of course, maybe not of course, but for sure, within this 4 years, we had a lot of challenges and changes on the regulatory landscape. However, the main problems, for example, we discussed the problem with the bank account opening, it's still happening. We discussed the problem with the lack of understanding of the risks related to the virtual assets, it's still happening. We discussed about the adoption of the virtual assets and virtual assets payments, still happening. So I think that sometimes people are saying that it's boring to go to the conferences because they're always the same topics. Yes and no. Because the same topics are sometimes because we still...
They're continuous, yeah.
We have these continuous challenges that are not easy to solve within, 2 months, and on the next conference we will not going to have this problem. No, it's not like this. I still think that fintech industry and Web3 industry are growing very fast, and even those maybe for the market participant it's still slow, but from the comparison of the traditional finance, those changes are huge, and actually market is growing, industry is growing, customers are growing, everything is changing super fast. And if you are not in line with the particular requirements, and you are not aware of what is happening today and would happen tomorrow, you cannot actually predict like the good strategy for your business.
All right. So based on your experience and observations, what are your predictions for the future of blockchain technology and digital currencies in the next few years, let's say 3 years, 4 years?
So we already facing this now, but for sure, virtual assets industry will be highly regulated. At the moment, we can already see, based on MiCA, DORA, DAC 8, and other upcoming regulations on the EU level, that obligations of the virtual asset service providers are not less than obligations of the banks, C-money institution, pension funds, or investment funds. So the reality is that regulatory framework will be very similar, and it will be not easy to create such products, and the entrance of the market will be higher, because basically if you need to create the company, when in the structure at the beginning, you need to have at least already, 5-10 people. You need to have the capital of, 150K. You need to have the proper compliance. You need to have the proper IT. You need to have the audit. It's very costly, and not all companies will be able to enter European market. This is the reality. If it is good or bad, we can see. Of course, we will see the situation when to solve this problem, companies will decide to be established outside of the European Union in the third countries, until there are also, let's say, more intensive regulations in place. But in the final stage, if you're talking about, for example, 10, 15 years, I think it will be pretty same regulatory landscape within the world for Web3 industry and fintech industry. So there will be no big changes between if your company is registered in Canada, Singapore, or Germany. So we have this at the moment, for example, with the IT sector, we have it with the traditional finance sector. And I think that it will be absolutely the same situation. So today, creating a bank, for example, in Hong Kong is not much easier than creating a bank in Lithuania, for example. Of course, there are different regulations, different approach of the regulators. But in general, you will need to meet absolutely the same requirements, and this process is quite similar.
All right. So any free advice you can give for these emerging projects, especially in regards to the navigating the complex legal and regulatory landscapes?
Mm-hmm. I would like to point some aspects, maybe 3-4 points. First of all, number one, if you are creating the product, do the proper market fit check. Secondly, please invest in financial planning. Do you have enough funds to actually realize this project? And to do this properly, you need actually understand absolutely all. What will be your labor cost? What will be your legal cost? What will be your, daily operational costs, etc., etc. Number 3 is invest in compliance and legal. Do not forget about this. And maybe think about this even when product is not ready, because the problem we will see basically that product is ready, company is ready, and now the founders are starting to think, okay, how we need to do it by the law, but the product is already ready. And then the lawyers are coming and saying, okay, if you want to do, a crypto exchange platform with the staking, with the lending opportunities, you need to have the 3 license. And they're like, no, we need only 1 license to provide the crypto services. And then it's gone. If you want to have it with 1 license, you need to change your product. So maybe to invest in legal and compliance, not once the products are fully ready, to get in advance some kind of legal opinions, to have understanding what will be needed, which kind of certificates, authorizations, licenses might be needed, and what I need to do actually to be compliant. And the first one is to create the strong community for your product, and invest in this as well. Because what we see right now, that sometimes they are huge projects that are investing in products, marketing, even legal, but they are not fitting the market because there is no strong community behind it. And competition is so strong, and they cannot just compete with the other market participants. So maybe those are 4 main points. And number 5 is just maybe an advice. There is nothing which is not accessible. So everything can be accessible for you if you have the strong strategy. So if you have this preparation, analysis, and strong understanding what are your goals, where you would like to be, then it will be much easier for you with the communication with the regulator, with the communication with the banks, with the communication with the lawyers. So once you have this clean understanding where you would like to be, what are your goals, you can have it, but you need to do this proper preparation before.
All right. So as a final question, I'd like to just ask, what personally motivates you in this field, and what vision do you hold for the future of legal assistance in fintech and blockchain?
My personal quote is, everything is possible. and dream big. So I think that it is very crucial for the founders, for the entrepreneurs. You need to have this a little bit unrealistic dreams to move forward. For me, a part of the motivation is also maybe a results that team is having. So once you see where you have been 5 years ago and where you are now, you're not thinking about this daily, but sometimes you need to stop and turn your head and look back. And understanding of this journey is very good motivation for you for the future. So if you achieved such much within 5 years, what will be after 20 years? So this is maybe my personal tip how to motivate myself. But of course, for everyone, I understand, especially for the founders, for the entrepreneurs, there are always ups and downs. There is no option that you will have this candy life all days. Sometimes you need to make strong and complicated decisions. And also for me, it's crucial that founder is having the ability to make the decisions fast. I think in the current era, if you are not able to make the decision fast and take responsibilities, you shouldn't be a founder of the company. This is the reality. Once you create this skill for yourself, it will becoming much easier to run the company daily.
Well, these are some strong parting words from you to our audience.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. And thank you for our audience for joining us again. Remember, if you want to be on this podcast, just send an email to podcast@hipther.com. Anna, once again, thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to seeing you in Prague and Tallinn later next year.
Thank you so much.
This year.
This year, 2024. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. And I hope this podcast was useful for someone. And if you have any kind of additional questions, you can reach me, LinkedIn, email, whatever. I'm always glad to be connected and help.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for this section of Hipther Talks. Thank you for being a part of our journey today. Don't forget to tune in next week for more insights and discussions. Stay connected with us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and more. Until then, keep exploring and keep growing. We'll see you next time.